We're going to go live. Well, well, hello there. Hi there. Hi everyone. It's Emil. It's Emil Guillermo, the museum director. You know, they teach you how to go live, and you want to be live all the time. Otherwise, I guess you're buried. I guess. No, we're not buried, but we're live, and I'm going live because I was messing around with my computer. Honest to God, behind the scenes, and I thought, I'm going to talk to you about what's coming up this weekend. It's a big weekend. Go up to the Filipino you see, or the Filipino next to you, and say, "Hey, it's Larry Itliong weekend. It's his birthday, Sunday, tomorrow, the 25th. This is the 24th, as I speak. But it's Larry Itliong weekend. Eat a grape, or if you're really kind of like hold a grudge, just look at that grape and say, bah, no grapes." I mean, really, I mean, Larry Itliong is he's the man, right? He's one of the reasons why Filipino American History Month is in October, but not necessarily the reason. It's a nice coincidence. But his birthday, this is his birthday weekend. We celebrate Manong Larry coming up today at 11:45. Our FANHS virtual pop-up lunch. It's going to be good. And we're going to also we're going to talk to a guy who knew Larry very well. It's a good story. We'll get into more detail about that at 11:45 Pacific. And then tomorrow I'm going to talk about, well, it's going to be his actual birthday. And Sunday's usually, Sunday brunch. We're going to talk about food on Sunday, historical food, far-flung food from all around the world, and Filipino. Is it Filipino American? Well, sort of, but it's going to be good. You won't regret joining us for our Sunday brunch this Sunday, 11:45 Pacific. If things go well, then it's noon. If things don't go well, special guest on Sunday too. Tune in. Talk about food. All you foodies out there, and we're going to try to perfect the chat so I'll be able to answer your questions in real time. We're just doing that. We're just trying to figure out how this Facebook Live thing works. And well, sort of, but not really. But it's a way to engage with you. So if you're out there, it's Saturday. You're like, you say, oh, let's see if Emil's live on the Facebook page, at the Fonz Museum page. Anyway, do that, and also I'll talk about the Plaridel Awards. Very fortunate to have won a Plaridel Award. Ah, I've won a lot of them. Let's see here. They look like this, and this is one from a previous year, but it's such a nice thing. It's not a paperweight. It's weighty. It means something. And one of the things about being a journalist and the connection from journalism to history is that journalism is the first draft of history. You look at all the historical books on our community, one of the primary sources, or a source, if not a primary source, it's a kind of a secondary source. Could be a primary source, depends. But journalism is right up there. It's cited, and as I'm proud to say, I'm proud to have been a footnote in Don Maban's book, Little Manila's in the Heart. I mean, that's sort of the book of Filipino American history, the modern Filipino American history. The late Don Mabalan. Think of her every day. You can't help but think of her every day if you're Filipino American, and if you want to know some of the seminal stories about Filipino Americans. Anyway, this was intended to be just a little pop up. This is a pop up. We're popping up to say, hey, join us again at 11:45. Okay, we'll be back with our special guest on Larry Itliong weekend. And then tomorrow, on Sunday, we'll be back talking about food on what we call it our Sunday brunch. It's Sunday brunch. You got to bring your own food. Is that asking too much to bring your own? I mean, I can see, Emil, you ask us to bring condiments. I understand that, but do you want us to bring the food too? Yeah, yeah. I want you to bring your food. Bring your food. Bring uh, your uh, your topsalog, your wetsalog, your tofu log. Everything's accepted. That's a good question. I'm going to ask the food person about vegan Filipino food. There are some places, although Nick's on Grand. Here's a shout out to Nick's on Grand. They didn't pay me for this. I hope they're still around. They had some great vegan lechon. I mean, vegan lechon. That's heresy, isn't it? No, it's not heresy. It's real. Anyway, this is just a promo. This is a promo, but I'm in my closet here, just waiting to get out and you know talk to you folks. However many folks are out there. One, two. No, it doesn't matter. We're not doing this for the quantity. We're not doing this for the We're doing this for the history, right? The Filipino American National Historical Society Museum. The history. There's a lot of history this month. We go back. You go back on if you want to binge watch before we come up again live at 11:45. Go to the Facebook Live page for the Fawns Museum. You go see all our things we did over the last couple months, and you'll see where I wore my tubao because you know I couldn't get a haircut. Now it's like you can get all the haircuts you want, but my hair can't grow fast enough. I say, I'm sorry, I can't see it make up for the lost time because my hair can't grow fast enough. Okay. Oh, one thing I must say, watch for this space and we'll show you how to register for an event next Saturday. Next Saturday. Oh, isn't that Halloween, Emil? Yes, it is Halloween. But Saturday, that means Halloween. You got the ghost story? No, I don't have a ghost story. I have something better than a ghost story. It's, well, it's the Celine Navarro story. You might have seen it in the Stockton Record about the woman who's buried alive in 1932. Yeah, it's real. It's not a ghost story. Buried in the Delta. We get into that story. Great story by Elizabeth Roberts. It's in the record and kind of expose some of the things that the record did in the past. But this isn't. It's an interesting story about Celine, and it's the new documentary by another Celine, and you're going to want to see it. Well, you're going to want to see the movie, but if you don't see the movie, it doesn't matter. We'll tell you the story. The story is the documentarian, the filmmaker's journey, and how she used history to advance something that's happening in her current life. So, bringing history to the present. That's an expansive use of history. That's a really good use of history. And it's not strictly academic, it's not strictly scholarly, but it's an historical record. And so we it's an interesting discussion. You'll like the discussion. We talked to the filmmaker, the family members will be on the online panel. And you can sign up for the online panel. I'm just whetting your appetite now. We're preparing the links now so you can sign up. It's free and you'll want to be part of this community discussion because it's the Filipino American community in the 30s, specifically in Stockton, the cradle of Filipino American history, right? Well, not exact. Well, yes and no, right? I mean, my father took the boat from the Philippines, got off and got to San Francisco, did not come to Stockton, stayed in San Francisco, said, "Hey, this San Francisco is going to be something soon. I don't want to work in the farm." And but he'd go to Stockton, to for the dances and for the lechon and the cockfights. but he stayed in San Francisco. But most people went to Stockton because Stockton was that's where the economic life was, and they had a community. It replicated in a large way what was happening in the Philippines, right? I mean, here in America, San Francisco, they had a few workers. My father was worked in restaurants, didn't work in the fields, but this Celine, my father came in 1928. I'm sure if he was here, I'd say, "Hey, Dad, you know about the Celine story? Oh, I read that in the paper. Oh, I saw that in the paper. The paper was, oh, I don't know about those people there. It's the Filipino, but not not Ilocano. Well, not exactly, Dad, but oh, anyway, it's a historical story that you're going to want to hear about. And Celine Parenas Shimizu, the filmmaker, tells his story in the documentary. I think you're going to want to be part of the discussion to see, hey, what is this all about? Buried alive. And how does this bring history forward to the present? And how do we understand history? Good discussion coming up. That's on October 31st. Halloween, 1 p.m. here. Look for the links here on the FANHS Facebook page, how you can register. And we'll have a big Halloween party discussing this film. Some people think, hey, I don't want to come near that story, Emil. No, it's a good story. It's an important story. And the museum and FANHS National and the FANHS Museum will be presenting this panel. And you're going to want it. It's going to be free. You can go online, watch it on your phone, with the link. It's going to be on Zoom. Let's get into it, right? It'll be 1 o'clock next week. God, we got a lot of things happening on the final week of Filipino American National History Month. And like I said, until when I come back at 11:45 with our Larry Itliong weekend special, check out our archive in on our Facebook Live page. Go to Fonz Museum slash live, I think, and you'll find it, and you'll see all the, or just go to the Facebook at Fonz Museum and just see all our videos. They're interesting. It's yes, even that is history. Even that is historic. It has something to do with us. Anyway, join me in a little bit, 11:45 Pacific, and I'll be back. We'll be talking about Larry Itliong. Thanks a lot. These are these virtual pop-ups. I pop up, just like, oh, there's that little Filipino guy. He's popping up again. Oh no, oh that's no. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just popping up. Okay, go back to your vegan breakfast, and it's good seeing you. And we'll see you shortly. Emil Guillermo signing off.